On Erev Pesach, Yud Daled Nisan, we have the minhag of Ta'anit Bechorot. It's brought down in Masechet Sofrim that the Bechor fast on Erev Pesach. It's brought down in Halacha as well. Says Sefer Halichot Shlomo, it's Rav Shlomo Zalman Ourbach alav shalom. He asked the question. He goes, "It's a very strange minhag. Like, why are the firstborns fasting on Erev Pesach on Yud Daled Nisan?" And he brings down that most of what we Rishonim don't bring down a reason. The Ra'aviyah and the Tur, they write that the reason is to remember the ness of Hashem saving the Bechor. But he says, if that's true, we have a little bit of an interesting question, because is that the way you remember the miracle of God saving you? I mean, if the Bechor was saved right now, that's a funny way to save them. He says, first off, it's the wrong day. What are we doing on Yud Daled for? We should be doing it on Tetvav, on Pesach itself. Also, what are you going to say? That you can't fast on Pesach? But Yud Daled also is actually the day of the Korbanot, is the day of the Korban Pesach, is the day that's also a day of Yom Tov. You know, we spoke in the past, we have Pesach on Yud Daled, Chag HaMatzot starting on Tetvav. It's a holy day too. Why wouldn't you make it earlier, and you should make the fast day on Yud Gimel of Nisan? That will be the more likely time to do it. He also asks that the actual miracle of the Bechor being saved, he didn't die, he's alive, then shouldn't the custom fall on his kids? Meaning, whoever was a Bechor in Mitzrayim, his kids are the ones that should be they should be keeping the ta'anit, meaning any children that come out of the Bechor, but not any random firstborn that's born into other families, but rather that line, all the Bechors of that generation, it's their children, all the children, both the Bechor and not Bechor. That's normally how you would do it. If something happens to a certain type of person, then his kids, all of them celebrate the miracle for his father. But you don't keep it on the category of Bechor. If the third born kid, his Bechor, why would we do it that way? He also asked, why is it specifically the minhag is in most keilot it's only the men, not the women, so why only the men? And he also says just the whole idea of fasting. If the whole idea is that God saved us, then why are we fasting? We shouldn't be fasting. We should be celebrating. We should be eating of a big seudah. That's what we do. The Purim miracle, we sit and we eat. That's the minhag. The minhag is to eat after we're saved. So why would the Bechor be required to fast on Tanit Bechorot? So says Rav Shlomo Zalman Ourbach, unbelievable idea. He says that the Tanit, he doesn't think is going specifically on the saving of Pesach only, that the Bechor was hid in the house and Hashem saved him. He says, rather, it's a day of hitbonenut v'heshbon nefesh. It's a day for the Bechor to sit back and think, wait a second, what did God do for me exactly? What was the idea of the Bechor? Hashem saved the Bechor. Was it the closest you got to a Kadosh Baruch Hu? He's coming into your home and he's protecting you from the Malach HaMavet outside. For what purpose? To serve God, to ultimately be the Bechor that was going to bring all the Korbanot in the future. The Bechor in the future was supposed to be like the Kohanim. But what happens in the future, where we fast forward a little bit further, and we're going to sin with the Egel HaZahav, and when the Bechor sings with the Egel HaZahav, it goes to the Bnei Levi, it goes to the Kohanim, and they lost their right to be the Kohanim. But now, actually, the Or HaChaim HaKadosh writes, other Sfarim write, that in the future the Bechor is going to get that right back, and the Bechor and the Levi, I guess, and everyone together is going to be serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But right now the Bechor cannot serve God. Why? Because he sinned with the Egel. So if that's true, so what's the day when the Kohanim do their biggest service for Hashem? It's Erev Pesach. Erev Pesach, all the Korbanot of the Korban Pesach, when all the Jewish people are showing up, it's the day of the most Korbanot. It's the day that the Kohanim are at their height. It's at the highest day for them. It's the most Kadosh day. The Kohanim are doing the service of Hashem. And the Bechor is sitting there and he's looking and he's saying, wow, what about me? I don't get to do this. Why not? Oh my God, it's the sin of the Egel HaZahav. How could he, on that day, it's like such a sad, for everybody it's so happy. It's Pesach, it's exciting. But at the same time, for the Bechor, it's a little bit sad because he's not doing that Avodat HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he's thinking, how did I mess up? How could I do the Egel HaZahav? He can't even eat for that day. Or, as Rav Shlomo writes, that's when they said, okay, let's make a minhag. We're not going to eat on Erev Pesach because look at us, we messed up. We can't bring the Korbanot Pesach. And I saw in the Sefer Haggadat Ha'atid, so he writes a footnote on this, and he says that if you want to understand why does a siyum poter the Bechor, a Bechor goes to a siyum masechet, and then you could eat. Why? Because he says the simcha of the limud Torah, that already takes away the pain and the tsa'ar and the merirut that the Bechor feels that he can't be doing the actual avodah for Hashem. And he says also we have a principle that we learn in the Torah, in the Gemara. It says in Pirkei Avot, Gdola Torah yoter min keuna. that the Torah is greater than the Kehuna. There's the famous story of the Kohen Gadol who leaves at the end of Yom Kippur, and everybody's following the Kohen Gadol, but then the Talmidei Chachamim come by, and they leave the Kohen Gadol behind to go to Talmidei Chachamim, because Torah ultimately is even greater than the service in the Beit HaMikdash. So therefore, when the Kohen learns the Torah, now that Simcha comes back, and he can eat for the rest of the day. But then he says, Bezat Hashem, La'atid Lavo, it's going to turn into a day of Simcha also for the Kohanim, as they're going to act as the Kohanim as well. Chag Sameach.